Welcome back to Film Study, an All American Universe podcast with Lexi. I'm Lexi. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, rate the podcast 5 stars, all that good stuff. Here is the last part of the Spencer and Olivia Spelivia season 5 journey breakdown series that we're doing with Monda and Summer. We're going to be answering some questions that I got from you all on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube as well. Hope that you enjoy it. Also, we did this before the strike, so know that. I think this is a good point for us to ask. They did because I've said this so many times. Like, why did it take all of this? How we know where they ended up, and we all agreed at the top of this that their best communication was in their last scene.
Mhm.
How do we think these communication problems that they've had in the past are going to follow them? How can the writers help these two communicate better with each other?
It's gonna follow them. Particularly, they haven't.
I
They,
absolutely think so.
because
Yeah,
they
it
got back
just
together and she left for 3 months. Like it's gonna follow them.
yeah.
It's not gonna be
Well, I mean,
So
fixed.
you're
hoping
in the writer's
Spencer's still
room,
in therapy, so
Now if
he
I'm
could
in the
use some
writers'
help.
room, it's gonna be a whole lot different than what these writers gonna
but
do.
regardless, how would you help these two communicate with each other? And in short answers, because we do have some other
Yeah.
questions.
Short answer for me would be first of all them talking about them getting back together. Like how did they end up like back together and what their 3 months was like apart, and then them making promises to each other that they can hold on to and how they will communicate their feelings, even if
Mm,
it's like,
that's good.
even if it's rough and hard. I say that because that's what my fanfic's about. So yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, short answer.
Yeah, I think they just basically what you said, but they need to like just communicate how they feel, just be honest like at all times. I still kind of want a conversation surrounding the breakup. I just feel like it wasn't enough information for me. I don't know if it's just me, but
No, you're
I
right.
just I
We're not
needed
gonna
No,
give.
more.
it was
The
I
not just
writers
needed
are
you.
more.
not gonna give
It's
it
not
to
I
us.
just you.
need I needed more. Like
They're
I
not gonna
needed
give it
some
to you.
more
You're gonna find it
info.
in a fanfic summer
That's
because you're not gonna find it on
I
our
mean, if
show.
you have listened to my review of the finale, you would know that I said that I also need more.
And you're not gonna
Um,
get it
and
either.
if I had
Yes.
it,
Yeah,
and
you
if
did say
I
it.
had it my way, um, that he would visit her, do something physically, I think, to show that he's in support, but also that this is something that he's working on. I love that they're spending these 3 months apart. Take a little quick trip to London, save up them coins, beg,
He
borrow,
could go with
steal, whatever
Jordan
you got to
when Jordan
do to get
goes.
over to London.
Right.
Exactly.
Um,
Go see her. Really make a sacrifice. Really think about it being lasting change. Stick to therapy is what I would do.
mhm.
Um, and for Liv, continue to be honest. Continue to say what you want. Continue to say what you need towards Spencer. Um, and I think for the both of them, hold each other accountable more.
Yes,
Uh, in your relationship, I
Yes.
both
would
of them.
love to see them just have an honest. They've had some honest conversations, but would love to see them just take an extended period of time where they're just having an honest conversation. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I would love to see them like be forced. I don't even care if it's like an escape room or whatever, or locked
Force
somewhere,
them
but
to the cabin by
please
themselves.
force them to the cabin. Like,
Yes. Yes.
I know people are gonna, but like, what's their version of? I'll take two examples. What's their version of being locked in the studio? What's their version of when Thea and Simone were like locked in that escape room? So like, give them, force them to go away for a little bit and talk to each other.
Cut everybody off and go to the
Um,
cabin.
yeah, cut
Mhm.
everybody off. Cut everybody off.
Yeah.
But with that being said, what do we see for them in the future? What's the next big thing for them? Do we think predictions?
Oof.
Especially because we obviously know that Jamie and Asher moving in, baby
Oh,
together, Jordan and
Mhm.
Layla
oh.
engaged. What do we see for Spencer and Olivia?
I just want them to live their college lives because Jamie and Asher's having a whole child. don't that. Nope, they don't need that. Jordan and
I don't think
Lele,
they're having that baby. By the way,
huh?
Yeah,
What'd you say,
I
I
Lexi?
don't think that
I
Jamie
was
finna
just
have.
gonna say,
I don't
yeah,
think
I
that Jamie
don't
finna have the baby.
She can have the baby,
like.
and Asher can die. Um,
Oh my god.
But what I'm saying, what I actually think will happen in this show, I actually do not think that she
I
is
don't think
going
they're
to
gonna
have
have
the
the baby
baby.
either. I'll be shocked. But because the other set of couples and whatever the op and patient's gonna end up doing are like in like the extreme end of their lives, I just want them to live their college lives. I want Liv to continue to prosper. Come back from London with new friends, by the way. We don't got to see them all the
Yeah,
time, but new friends out of sight of that vortex. And then really just continue to be her college student self and create, and then just building that relationship with Spencer. I don't have any deep predictions for Spelivia for the first time in history because I literally have shut my brain off.
yeah. I think it all also depends on whether or not it's going to be a time jump.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I do have a prediction
yeah.
for a time jump. I just have not like
What's your
flushed it out.
prediction for the? You haven't flushed it up. Okay.
Mm-mm.
What about you, Summer?
Um, I just want them. Well, when she does get back from London, well, actually, I'm hoping that we maybe get like some scenes with her in London. I'm hoping, but we're probably not. But I hope that when she gets back, that her and Spencer can, continue to. Well, actually, they still need. There's still things they need to talk about. I don't. If they're in a relationship, aren't they? At the moment,
Yeah,
like,
Yeah, they are in a
they
relationship.
are.
right? Okay,
That's the
so I
same
just
just
want.
telling no
Okay,
random person she love them for no reason. Yep.
right. So since that has been like clarified and cleared up, I just think they just need to talk about a lot of things
Which we
That's
probably
true.
just
won't get.
moving forward.
I well, and here's the thing. So, regardless of we've done the predictions, and regardless of whether or not we'll get some of the things that we hope for, some of our predictions will come true, etc., etc. Regardless of what we probably will or won't get, where they are now, what's been written now. Um, do we think that they were ready to get back together? Um, and do
Oh,
we think that you know this was a good way for them to get back together, and have they worked on that issue of Spencer supporting Liv in her dreams? So were they ready to get back together? Was this like a good time to do it, and does Spencer support Liv in her dreams?
I think him supporting her going to London and doing the things in preparation for her to go into London was his way of showing that he supported her in her dream, in his
Yeah.
way of doing that.
Hmm.
Like the whole day he put together the book that he had Dylan like draw, but his name showed bigger on the book. Um, and, and everything. I think those were his ways of like, I'm supporting you to what you doing. And even he stated that in the airport scene, like I didn't say anything because I didn't want to, because I didn't think it would be fair to you. And so showing her that I'm supporting you in that way. So I see that. There's still going to be hiccups because that's what relationships are, and where like he supports her or don't supports her, and vice versa. Um, and I think that personally, I'm okay with them getting together right now because it's not like they're under each other. They're still living their individual lives for 3 months. She's
Hmm.
still going to London. He's still doing whatever he's doing in LA. And it allows for them to grow individually and then come back. We just need to see what that connection was like over the summer. Did he go
Yeah.
see her? How often did they talk? And all that other stuff.
Mm, yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I'm okay with it. Cause as long as she didn't stay in LA, I'm fine.
Facts.
Because if she stayed in LA, me and them writers was gonna have something to say. But yeah, that was my answer.
Summer.
I yeah. I kind of questioned like if she was gonna stay because I don't know, for some reason, like when Patience got stabbed, I feel like I don't know, it's she's I don't know if she's gonna actually stay or come back early. I don't know how they're
She
gonna
not coming back for
She better
patience.
not
play
come
that
back
out.
for patience.
Yeah,
I'm
but
only laughing because somebody asked me that question. I'm like, she's not coming back for
She
patience. She
not.
is
She.
I
not
A
coming
hope
back for
bunch of
not.
people
patience.
think Liv
Listen,
love
I hope
patience.
she doesn't. I
Patience
I
does
know.
hope
I'm
not
that
come
like,
out.
if
never.
their name is not, if their name is not
Laura
Laura,
or
Spencer, Jordan,
Jordan
or Layla, she's not coming
coming
back.
back. No.
I just hope.
I know.
Yeah.
I know some people would rather a couple of those names not be in there, but those are the names. Those
She's
are
not
the
coming
names.
back for that girl. She can hear about everything, and I would be surprised they wouldn't tell her
She gonna be
until.
like, "Oh, patience got stabbed. That's sad."
I wouldn't be surprised if Spencer and them don't tell her right away until Patience is
Right.
feeling better.
That too. That
Yeah,
too.
that would make sense. Yeah,
Sorry. What was the
that
question?
would make
I
sense.
was gonna answer the question. I got such.
Did they get
We're
back
sorry.
together
Did
too
you finish your
soon?
answer? Yeah.
Wait,
Did you finish
what
your
was the
answer
question?
Did they get back together too
To
soon?
too soon?
oh,
Yeah.
no, I don't think so. But I do think that the 3 months apart definitely helps. Just to see where their mind is when they do come back together.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it'd be great.
I agree. I think I like that the way that they split this up and particularly made it like an additional 3 months where they're not going to be joined at the hip. Like they are going to be by geographic location forced to be apart, which I
Right.
like. But I do also think that they knew that they wanted to be together. And so I think it's good that they reaffirmed that commitment on both of their ends. Um,
Cause
and I think that Spencer is on a journey to starting to support her more. I think, again, the last episode and sprinkles of what we got in 5B is him really starting to support her. And I would just love to see that be a continued thing. Like,
mm-hmm.
there's something in the back of my mind where I'm like, I really don't want the other shoe to drop because
Yeah.
506, again, in my mind, is when they should have had him say something different. And so I'm just hoping that like that moment never comes where I feel like he should say something different, and I really want this to be a continued thing for him.
I'm telling you,
And I think I would have changed it a little bit about how they got back together. I think we alluded to it, and him being
happened
single
earlier.
after his grief.
Right.
But for the most part, I'm cool with how they
But
got
there's
back together
also a
for
3 week
sure.
breakup between him and Alicia. Between him
I
breaking up with
still don't think
Alicia
that's
and
enough.
for between Liv leaving.
Yeah.
It was a three
She
week.
broke up with him. I still
Yeah,
don't think that's enough.
yeah. That's what I said. I'm sorry. Well, she broke up with him.
No, I know.
Here's what I'm gonna say. If Spencer did not affirm with Liv how he felt, and she got on that plane to London, I'm telling you, he would have been sick if she came back with somebody because he chose
Oh
Right.
yeah.
to be in his
Yeah.
feelings.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Honestly,
I'm glad
if
because
he
that's what
hadn't,
we
I
are.
feel like she would have.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
he
for
hadn't.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. Um, and so I'm glad that they reaffirmed. But again, I'm glad that it's like reaffirmed, but still spending some time apart. Um, so that they can actually continue to grow. Um, let's talk about that. I think that we've already answered some of these questions. In terms of we think that they're both going to grow with this time apart. Uh, here's a fun one. We have like three last questions. Someone said, I understand why Spencer loves Olivia so much. She always shows up for him. Why does Olivia love Spencer so much?
She cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Be serious.
Oh my god. Oh,
I want to say this, and you know how much I cannot stand that.
Not y'all struggling.
No, I'm
I,
not struggling. I'm not struggling.
yeah, I tried
No,
to
I
just
know.
get my
I'm
thoughts
making a joke.
together.
I'm making a joke. It
Yeah.
was just the silence.
It's because I didn't know how I want to start this off. But Summer, I'll let you go first if you're ready.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, go first. Go first.
Yeah.
I think that Liv, she just, well, for her, what did she say? She said it was like love at first sight for her,
Which
which,
I
I
think she
mean,
was
that's,
lying, but go ahead.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I
a
think
little
she was lying
questionable,
too.
but we're just gonna go with what she said. And, it just, they bring out certain parts of each other that I think are good when they're both doing well, and there's a healthy amount of communication. Like, I think Liv values their friendship a lot, and their friendship is probably the main thing that sets up like her like really falling for him over time. That's what I think
Mm,
about it.
Mm.
yeah.
I agree with the friendship piece. I also agree with the fact. I also believe that Spencer is different than any guy that she's been around because, of course, it's Beverly Hills, right? But as much as I can't stand that man, Spencer has qualities of her father, which she admires, and so that connection too is something. And they always say that girls end up like either dating or marrying someone is similar or have some qualities of their dad, or they wish their dad to have. In the sense that her dad wasn't, I don't care what nobody say, was not there as much for her.
Mm.
And Spencer shows up during the big times. So I think those are the things. And also she sees him as this fairy tale like knight, which I don't understand. I'm still trying to figure that piece out.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to figure that out because when her and Layla
I
had that
do think
conversation
that
in season
she
one, she's like, at least one of us can get the fairy tale. I'm still trying to figure out what this fairy tale is.
I think that she sees him in the most positive light. Um and that's not to say that she doesn't understand or like acknowledge his flaws, but she really doesn't care. And I think that's what I'm like, oh,
Well,
you
she
you
doesn't
really
acknowledge
don't
a lot
care.
of people's flaws.
You don't you really don't care.
She doesn't
But
acknowledge a lot of
so
people's
she does
flaws.
see him. Sure, yeah, but but we're answering the questions. It's for me, like, oh, you really don't care. Um, and so I think that keeping that in mind, and also the fact that you, as much as I get on it, the show for this point is that he has been there for her a lot and in ways that matter for moments that matter.
Right.
Um, and he did jump in front of a bullet for her, and so that's a huge sacrifice.
And he
Like
said
they
he'll
did
do
not
it
know each
again.
other, and he said that he'd do it again, and they barely like they gotta remember like the timeline of the show. This is all happening very soon, so when you feel like there's just a person that gets you, you feel like there's a person that gets you. And so I think that's why she loved him, is because he is there for her in moments that matter. And so when it comes to the moments that, you know, maybe there's some hiccups there, she doesn't really consider that because it's like the moments that matter to her, he's there. Um, and I think that's good. I think, yeah, they understand each other. Um, so the second or the last question, which is kind of a
Mm.
There's one about their time they spent
bigger
apart.
question. Yeah, but I feel like we touched on
Oh, okay.
sort of touched on that,
Yeah,
touched on
yeah.
that throughout the conversation. So the last question is, would engagement make sense for them? Uh, keep and it's also sort of about the discourse that happens on Spelivia and Jordala, and just the fact that obviously Jordan and Layla are engaged. So would a engagement make sense for Spencer and Olivia down the line? And
No.
what do we think about the no down the line?
Oh, down the line, yes,
Okay,
but right now, no.
No.
right now, no. Down the
Right
line,
now,
yes.
no.
No,
Neither of them should be engaged to anybody. None of them, including Jordan and Lele, because y'all know how I feel. None of them should be engaged right
I
now.
do know how you feel. Uh, I feel like Spencer and Olivia definitely should not be engaged right now. I think I could see it down the line. And then, just in your opinion, what's your opinion on the discourse, the fighting between Spelivia and Jordala? I'm on both sides of the fence, so I don't really have a answer other
I'll
than
let Summer
if you
go,
don't
and then
like
I'll
a
tell y'all
ship,
what I feel. Go, Summer.
You, what do you mean by
go
like
Summer.
a?
I'll close us out. I'll round us out being fans of both.
Okay. Well, what do you mean like a discourse? Like
They're
you mean like
fighting over
That
this
was
conflict
just
between
that
the
was the
ship?
engagement.
question. They said, what are your thoughts on the discourse that happens every other day between Spilivias and
Oh,
Jordalis?
And do you think the right
um,
couple got the ring?
But we already answered the
Yeah.
whole engagement idea.
Yeah. What do
yeah.
you?
As far as their conflict goes,
This is more of us fans,
It's
so not
fans.
necessarily about the couples, but fans. What do you think of?
oh, for the fans,
Yeah, the discourse is specifically the
I
question. If
don't,
you don't have an answer, that's fine.
there's not really. I mean, there is discourse, obviously,
And I think that
but
you don't get it as much because you're on Instagram, but on
Yeah,
Twitter is
we
yeah,
get
woo.
it.
I was gonna say like
Summer,
the
it's
Twitter beef, it
ridiculous.
falls over into Instagram, and I'm just like, what?
It's
Like,
intense
It's
what's
on
going
crazy.
on?
Twitter.
It is
Yeah,
intense on Twitter.
It's intense.
yeah,
Like people, to they.
So I love that Summer's like, I don't know, because
Yep.
Instagram don't really got those problems.
yeah.
I love that for you.
Stay in your la la land. Stay over there.
Yeah, stay in the Lala. I almost, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I only learn stuff when it like boils over and people just like take it over to Instagram. But
Which is
other than that,
crazy.
no, I'm like,
It's
yeah, I don't be knowing what be
unnecessary.
going on.
It's
It is
unnecessary.
so unnecessary. I got friends who are Jordala fans, and I got friends who are Spelivia fans. I'm neither a Jordala or a Spelivia fan. It is unnecessary. Like y'all can like y'all couples, and there's people who like both couples. Y'all can like y'all couples.
Like
Y'all can
myself.
do the things and explore it, and y'all could be able to have a full on discussion about the different couples without getting into a heated discourse. I had a conversation the other day with a Spolivia fan because they already know how I feel about Spencer, and it was very respectful. I had a conversation the other day about with a Jordala fan. They know how I feel about Jordala, and it was respectful, and be able to do that. It's unnecessary.
Yeah. I think that was coming from somebody who's, like you said, a fan of neither, and coming from a fan of somebody of both, right? It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. I have the same answer. It's unnecessary. I think that, you know, even if you don't need to have discourse. Not everything needs an opinion. And I think especially knowing that this particular set of discussion can get volatile if you're not a fan of a certain ship, a certain character. Uh, don't always feel the need to speak on that ship or that character because it's going to spill over. It's going to escalate. Um, and so we would love to have these great, respectful discussions, but I think when it gets to these two ships, these two couples, it always ends up getting into something more. And so just
They
avoid
are
it.
fictional
Unnecessary.
characters.
They're fictional characters. Go touch some grass.
Right.
That is my
They're
advice.
fictional
Just to
characters.
go
My only
touch
problem is when it gets
some
into the
grass.
actual
Go
actors.
outside.
Leave them alone. Leave the actual actors and
Go
actresses
outside.
alone. But
Leave the actors.
Yeah, I don't
Thank
like
you.
when
Leave the
they
actors alone. Go
start messing with the
outside.
actors.
Breathe
Like,
some good
really?
air.
do something. They're
And
fictional.
leave it at that. Call it a day. Call
And
it a day.
here's the deal:
So, yeah.
block people if you need to. Because I had to block a Bolivian
Ugh.
person who
Oh
told
my
me
gosh,
it's a mute
yes,
point
the
and
block
telling me what to
button
do on my
helps.
page. You better stop it. Block people if you need to.
So there you go. There's our advice and our thoughts on the discourse. But other than that, thanks for listening. Summer, thank you for dealing with me and
Me?
Monda's craziness.
Listen, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
You,
every
if
It
you
was
could
so
deal
great
with
having you
me,
on. This
Summer,
was
you
fun
could deal with
conversation.
anybody. So yeah,
That's true.
that is true.
I'm not
It was
that.
fun.
That
No
is so
arguments
true.
for
If
me,
you could
but
deal
this
with
has been
me
fun.
on a pod, you could deal with anybody.
This has been fun, y'all. And thank you, audience, for listening. Stay tuned for the next episode.